This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of July 7th, 2025. This is the week everything changes. You may not really feel it at first. There may not be a big defining event. It may simply be a shift in the wind, a shift in the atmosphere, something you haven't really felt before. Could be an influx of nervousness and energy and excitement. Situations shaking up, situations starting to wobble, situations starting to go cattywampus, maybe even blow apart. We have the final outer planet sign shift starting this week. Uranus, the agent of unpredictable change, the awakener, the enlightener, the most volatile influence in the sky, enters the sign of Gemini for the first time since the 1940s. Many of the people listening to this have not lived through this before. When he does this, he starts a collaboration with all the other outer planets, and none of us have lived through the specific nature of that collaboration before. This is one of those, oh boy, things are getting real moments in time. No point in fearing it. It will ultimately break a lot of things loose, knock a lot of things down that have been teetering for a long, long time, and open us to tremendous possibilities, some of which have never been on the table before, some of which we've never even had in our consciousness. As the month goes on, Uranus is going to have opportunity aspects with the paradoxical teaming of Saturn and Neptune, structure and rules meeting faith, inspiration, creativity, and boundlessness in the self-activating sign of Aries. And as the year goes on, Uranus will team with Pluto, the other agent of cosmic change, the agent of unavoidable deep-level evolutionary change. So the air and the atmosphere are going to feel a little unsettled and unsettling and exciting as the week begins. And the guides that initially get us through this are feminine influences. The first of these is Venus, the social director of the skies, the ruler of relationships, goddess of love, actually the ruler of everything we value, creature comforts, each other, how we interact, creativity, our precious baubles, our resources, our money, our indulgences. Venus and our social mode have become much more multifaceted since the early part of July 4th when she met Uranus and then skedaddled into Gemini. This is let's be pals mode, considering options, lighthearted, fleet-footed, flitting here, flitting there, traveling in packs. Venus comes into the week having just made opportunity aspects to Saturn and Neptune exact on the 6th, firing up inspiration and guidance, perhaps in you, perhaps in a woman or multiple women who have come to the fore as inspirational figures. As soon as Uranus heads off into Gemini, and by the way, a way to think of that shift is a technological system, some kind of device that has been earthbound, suddenly being launched into the stratosphere and being in a position to beam things down at us like a satellite. So while Uranus is heading off into the skies, Venus teams with her counterpart in desire and money. Pluto. She has a trine with Pluto on the 7th as the week starts. This is kind of paradoxical because she has just gone into every which way mode in Gemini, wanting to juggle many things and many people. And the contact with Pluto says, whoa, get really deep in something. It intensifies a relationship, intensifies a desire, intensifies our experience of something that is not rational. It brings triangulation to the surface. So in simpler times in this world, this kind of vibe would be forbidden fruit coming to the surface. Many ways it's going to play out. Just notice that people, situations are going from, oh, let's do lots of things, to suddenly zooming in on something that absolutely matters to them. Perhaps survival level, I must have this. The other feminine influence that takes us through the week is the moon. On the 10th, we have a full moon in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. And this is a fairly business-like event, actually. Watch for a noticeable bottom line element in the dramas that come to a head now. And you may find yourself engaging in calculus after calculus involving how supportive something is in your life or not. Now, Saturn rules this. Saturn is going to be emphasizing who's being responsible, who's responsible for who or what. Saturn also likes to impose consequences and ramifications. And it may take a while to decide what you want to do about the situations that aren't fitting quite right. It may be that it's not for a few months that you really sort a lot of things out. This week could be the moment of the emotional separation, the energetic separation. Because the ruler of the moon, the ruler of Capricorn, Saturn, traveling with Neptune, is in an opportunity aspect with Uranus, opening the door to lots of different things, lots of different ways. And Saturn and Neptune are also in an opportunity aspect with Pluto in Aquarius. And this could be a time of suddenly having the boldness and the wisdom and the inspiration, Saturn and Neptune in Aries, to think of things differently, Uranus in Gemini, to consider other options, including some that you didn't earlier, and then breaking from something, Pluto in Aquarius. It may be a while for the actual follow-through to show real results, although there will be motivation to get moving on things because the moon is in an easy flow with Mars in Virgo, which is fix-it mode. And the additional complication here, the additional break or slowing on the situation, is that Saturn stations retrograde on the 13th. It's going to start traveling over the territory that it has been in since it entered Aries on May 24th. This part of its journey is going to take the rest of the summer until the beginning of September, and then it is going to slide back into Pisces for a little while to do some cleanup work. Meanwhile, Neptune is also retrograde. It's stationed retrograde on July 4th, and it will more slowly be backing over the territory that it's been covering since it entered Aries on March 30th. And in October, it will slide back to the last degree of the zodiac, where it will hang out for a few weeks before it goes direct. So, what does this all mean? Well, we're in a sudden atmosphere of a lot of things are being shaken up. And there are many, many impulses to just break loose and break free of a lot of things. The actual extrication may take a bit longer, and there could be more to uncover, more to learn, more to reveal. While Neptune and Saturn go backwards, and remember, next week, Mercury also stations retrograde. So it's a backwards and forwards, whiplash kind of week, whiplash kind of rest of the month. Hanging on to something, probably not a good idea. Could have lightning zapping your hand. Could be something stronger, more striking, more painful than static electricity. So when in doubt, let it go. And as much as possible, maintain an air of awe about all of this. I considered using as the image of the week the moment when Dorothy opens the farmhouse door and goes from black and white to color and Munchkin Land. But we're not going to have beings greeting us when we get through this gauntlet that know the lay of the land. Nobody knows the lay of the land. We are charting our own maps. So have some fun with it. Homing thought of the week. What are my options? Song of the week. The End of the World as We Know It by R.E.M. And the image of the week is an arm wiping all the game pieces off of a playing board and the board changing to a game that you've never seen before. You'll learn more about this in my forecast for the month of July, and also my forecast for the Capricorn full moon, and also my Saturn-Neptune through history talk, which goes through the themes of what has happened when each of them has been in the sign of Aries and when they have been conjunct throughout history, going back to, believe it or not, the dawn of civilization. And spoilers, it's basically really optimistic. Both of which are at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 35 years experience. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. And this week, my guest is Aubrey Hodeschel, who is the author of a book that's really appropriate for that Venus-Pluto trine, Stellar Sex. Unlock your sexual power with erotic astrology. I also host lively conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads at K.A. Biehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.